Brad Pitt, Denzel Washington, or
this is one team that
Kevin
can't
Hart?
get
Quick
cloned.
question.
This is
With
Jerry's
the NFL
world. Y'all
opening
know
up the
Jerry
rules on the
Jones.
dance, what the first INT to the house gonna look like? What?
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. Got rings that go blank. We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching the blue bug. We about to take it back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones. Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching the blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones.
Route, man. I want to know, man.
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching the blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is
With
Jerry's
the
world.
NFL
Y'all
opening
know
up the
Jerry
rules on the
Jones.
dance, what the first INT to the house gonna look like? What?
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling. We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching the blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones.
Classic, man. I need to know, man. Real quick. Where did this come from?
Man, how are you enjoying your rookie OTL first? How do you feel about continuing that legacy of
We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching the blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. Y'all know Jerry Jones. We the 5-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching the blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the freak. And number 50, the general lead. Cowboys, no need to flex. Like Des Bryant, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world. world, y'all know
Last year,
Jerry
man, you were
Jones.
number one in the nation in the hitch route, man. I want to know, man. What the hell were you doing? There you go. On that final play, man. You let that beat out. What was going
We the five-time Super Bowl champs.
Man, it's
We
tight
got
for
rings that go bling, go bam. Watching your team is like watching no blue bug. We about to take it back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get clone. This is
With
Jerry's
the
world,
NFL
y'all
opening
know
up the
Jerry
rules on the
Jones.
dance, what the first INT to the house gonna look like?
We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling. We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones.
Plastic, man. I need to know, man, real quick. Where did this come from?
Scouty, man. How are you enjoying your rookie OTL? First, Cowboys Scouty, man. How do you feel about continuing that legacy of
We the
Dallas Cowboys
five-time
back
Super
into
Bowl
West Coast
champs.
Cowboys and Dallas
Got rings that go bling, go blam. Watching your team is like watching no blue bug. We about to take you back to the future. Number 21, Zeke the Freak. And number 50, the General Lee. Cowboys no need to flex. Like there's Brian, I'm throwing up the X. If you a true Dallas fan, don't forget. Jason Witten and the Trip Bets. This is one team that can't get cloned. This is Jerry's world, y'all know Jerry Jones. We the five-time Super Bowl champs. We got rings that go bling, go blam.
The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off, but this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com.
Hey, what up, y'all? It's that time of the year again for our annual gala. On June 8th, we will be hosting our 2019 Diamonds and Pearls Gala down in Davie, Florida. You can purchase tickets or find out more information on 88blessings.org. On top of honoring our single moms, we will also be honoring Lori from Make Our School Safe. I hope to see you all there. Much love.
What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, and we are live in the building, man. How you doing, man? I got my neck going, so you already know we about to have a good show, man. I got my Cowboy cousin to the left of me. I got my scouts in the comment box. I got my scouts on YouTube. What up with your Philly Cowboy? What up with your man? Lil Eagle. What up with your man? What up with your boss Cowboy?
Did you say you got your neck going?
Yeah, man. You know when I get my,
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm saying? When I,
But you got your neck going, bro. I'm like,
When I get it going, man, you know, we about to talk about some stuff, man.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm
I think
saying?
it's supposed to get deep today, so start sharing now.
Start saying shit. Hey, we got a new thing we about to do, man. I want everybody, instead of saying hi to me, I want you to say hi to the person that is a very above you. If it's yourself, don't say hi to yourself, but whoever is above you, say hi to that person. Make a friend, shake a hand. What's up? Tell your fellow Cowboy fan I said hello. You know what I'm saying? Y'all always tell me hi, so tell your friends. Dwayne, tell Peter I said what up. Peter, tell Tony I said what up. Blake, tell Peter I said what up. Ray, tell Jaquez actually tell Jaquez to be cool, man. Don't be doing all that at this show, man. We getting it. Mike Luna, what up with you, man? Brenda. Hey, I know I like Jaquez. He be coming with it. I like that.
He does.
He gonna get on my head for using this red cup. He gonna be like West Coast, but I'm see, you got the red cup. You see, I gotta get my blue cup back. But yo, man, let's get into what we came to talk about today, and that is some Cowboy knowledge and some whatever is going on in the Cowboy world. This is today was the beginning. Well, it's kind of like mid-week, I guess, because their week is a little different than ours. But they are currently in the second week of OTAs. That is with rookies and veterans, so everybody is in attendance. It's from what I'm hearing, you have your standard standouts. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love hearing reports about players in training camp, but I'm always very leery on who they say. Why? Because I can't justify it with myself, and I think me and Boss Cowboy have proven it time after time that the Dallas Cowboys will absolutely push whomever it is that they want to push. You know what I'm saying? Like for the last two like practices, they have those same names that keep coming out. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you hear about my boy Pollard. I heard that he's killing it. I hear he's as fat as predicted. I also heard the boy from our rookie we drafted out of Oregon was moving pretty good. Some standouts I heard about also on the veteran side. Your boy Jordan Lewis, I heard he was dogging, and I'm going to be honest with you, if there is a conspiracy and they are just putting out weird names just to be putting out weird names, I'm happy they chose that one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that means Jordan Lewis is in the in crowd. At worst case scenario, even if he didn't, it means he's at least on the good side now. You know what I'm saying?
At least he got a little bit of a buzz from the crowd, right? Because we always trying to get these players that we think can do it to win the crowd.
Yeah, man, because Jordan Lewis, man, I think he has crowd winning ability. I mean, if you Google what that young man did in college, I mean, I see it like this in college. If you're able to do, pro moves like that, you should be able to replicate those things in the NFL. And one thing that I know about Jordan Lewis that I don't think that anyone's done it since Deion Sanders, man. Did Jenkins ever do it? I don't think Jinx ever did it. But he's the only DB that I've known since Deion since 2-1 to get on that other side of the ball. So you can't convince me that the boy ain't elusive and the boy ain't got them hips. Because if you ain't got them hips, bro, there's no way you're going to be playing on both sides of the ball and actually get the ball on offense. Not used as a decoy, boss, but actually get the ball on offense. So you can't sell me that the boy ain't got the wiggles. You know what I'm saying? So I like it when I hear stuff like Jordan Lewis coming out of there, because if Jordan Lewis is doing good, that might. I don't know about Anthony Breezy. What you think about Anthony Brown, man?
Well, before I spin off of Anthony Brown, it's a real good sign in OTAs that where you hear a certain DB stand out of all the DBs because they're covering. And when you're trying to judge OTAs, you pretty much for the most part are judging shirts and shimmels.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really judging them with pads on. But the receiver and the cornerback position is pretty much gonna still be close to the same.
Exactly, because you can do one-on-ones all day.
Yeah, you gain an advantage as a corner when a receiver has on shoulder pads, because that's something else that you can get your hand on. I know that from playing a position. So you can get your hand on it, right? But with those shimmels, they're going to be a lot looser and they're going to get off of you a lot quicker. So the fact that he was looking good in shorts and shimmels is still a real good indication of him coming into camp ready to go.
Yeah.
One thing too about Jordan Lewis before I spin to Anthony Brown. to your point about him also playing both ways, you're right. It's only three I remember that went both ways. Only three in the last 10 years. It's also what corner or safety do you ever put in receiver unless they have what, West Coast?
Unless they got the shimmel, then unless they got the wiggles, man, you ain't gonna be playing. What? Which? You lost me for a minute. I'm sorry.
Hands.
Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely, because you're going to catch the ball. Oh, yeah, duh.
Receiver, it shows his level of ball skills. When you take an NFL corner and you skip Lance Lenoir and you skip all these people who went through all those camps, who went through 2 years of preparing for that job, and you just skip him and say, okay, Lewis, let's go.
Yeah.
That's saying that he drops nothing. And so the reports when he came out of Michigan is that he had the best ball skills out of all people in the draft. So it's like the case, so that spins to Anthony Brown. So if we want turnovers, right, that's who you want on the field. We talked about this last show at 12 o'clock, that even though Anthony Brown is just an inch taller, Jordan Lewis' arms are longer by an inch.
Which makes a big difference.
And West Coast did a good job of breaking down the chart, which showed all their height and measurables. So, yeah, it's a good, and just to your point, it's a real, real good thing to hear, even a little bit, good reports about him, even coming out early, because you made this point at 12 o'clock, that hopefully we don't see Jones for most of the camp. That would get us good competition between Michael Jackson, Jordan Lewis, Anthony Brown. Let's see him out there.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is with Byron Jones out, you're going to get an opportunity at that. So that bumps everybody up. That bumps Cheeto up to 1, Anthony Tech, and I don't think Anthony Brown would go to the boundary because I wouldn't want him on the boundary.
No.
But, I mean, that would probably put Jordan Lewis, but he would still, I think he's better in the slot. But, I mean, honestly, with Byron Jones out, I think it opens the door for a guy like Olumba, who was on the team last year, a guy like Western Street that was on the team, and a guy like, well, he just got on the team, but I think it really opens up the door for a guy like Olumba who stuck around, it was crazy because when he out of uniform, he looked like a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? But when he in uniform, he looked like freaking Richard Sherman. I hope he played like him too. You know what I'm saying? But I think it actually opens up the opportunity for a guy like Olumba to play because there were some key snaps last year, you know what I'm saying, opportunities where they allowed Olumba to run with the first team. So, I mean, and that was at practice, obviously, but, I think it's going to, with Byron Jones out, I think a guy like, Olumba and one of these rookies that actually pays on the boundary will actually get an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I think Jordan Lewis is still going to be up against Anthony Brown because if you look at it, I got the chart up right now. Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis are the only ones that actually favor each other. And guess what? They're the only ones that really play slot. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think for that slot corner, you know what I'm saying? I think they, I think Jordan, I think he has an open camp. It's going to be a open camp. I think last year, I don't know what it is that he saw. Because Coach Richards did, he did say that Jordan Lewis had the longer arms, but at the same time, he still started Anthony Brown. And it wasn't much stuff that I questioned about, Coach Richard, in 2018. But I am going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I did question that. I did not understand that move. Why, where's Jordan Lewis on the sidelines? And more importantly, my thing is this. Why did you allow Anthony Brown to literally make mistakes on national TV and get better and come out there and rewrite his wrongs? Like, that does not typically happen in the NFL. Usually when you get exposed, when players get tags on you, like that post corner is, like, I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm an offensive team right now and I'm going against the Dallas Cowboys, post corner, man, he can't handle any route. The two biggest routes that Anthony Brown has a problem with is that post corner going to the backside because he's not good transitioning his hips, and then also anything that's like a delayed route that gets that's like play action has a delay, and he has to like kind of sit for a minute. those routes are not good for him either. And a great example of that is freaking Hopkins. Hopkins stood him up off the line, and Anthony Brown, even though Anthony Brown, I believe, if you put him in the race, I believe Anthony Brown's faster than Hopkins. Hopkins got the curve on him, and after that, all he saw was dreads. To be honest with you, I would have rather him just got the pass interference, just grabbed him and just pulled him down. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm very curious on why they allowed Anthony Brown the opportunities that they didn't give Jordan Lewis. I mean, why do you think that is? Boss Cowboy, why do you think? I mean, and they're basically, you know, he said that he preferred Jordan Lewis because of the length of the arms, but at the same time, that's not what his actions showed. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Man, my gut feeling from watching the Cowboys, to me, you always have to factor in politics to our team. I mean, one thing that to me seems to be a pattern of the Dallas Cowboys is just frankly having favorites. Is because, like you said, you didn't even have to play football. You can play any sport. You can be a pianist, right? You can do anything competitive. Taekwondo. I don't care what it is. You don't see somebody get benched for a lack of performance over somebody who performed longer, better. You don't see it. Okay?
Yeah.
Anthony Brown in 2017 and 2018 had the most touchdowns caught on him and the most penalties called on him. He was benched for it in 2017. He was benched for it the Chargers game. You know who was already starting? You know, Jordan Lewis. You know who wasn't starting yet? Awuzie. So when Brown messed up and was killed and destroyed by Allen, the Chargers game on Thanksgiving 2017, they said enough is enough, inserted Awuzie in the fourth quarter, and you didn't see Brown play for the rest of the season, but yet they kind of rotated him in a little bit, which is still giving him a chance to kind of re-earn his position, okay?
Yeah.
And then the following count, even though the person who clearly was the best corner and best DB, which was Jordan Lewis, that entire 2017 season, you decide in camp, not through games, West Coast, camp. Like what my boy Allen Iverson say, you're talking about practice.
Actually, think about this. It was actually determined before that, just to give some a little perspective, because I got people saying that maybe he trusted Byron, maybe he trusted Anthony Brown more. He did not know Byron. He didn't know Anthony Brown. He did not know Jordan Lewis. Like, you got to think like this. When two things happened when Chris Richard became actually three things happened. Three things happened when Chris Richard became the DB coach for the Dallas Cowboys, and it happened in this order. Actually, I'm gonna put a fourth one. The more I talk, the more I'm gonna add. This is the fourth order, right? Chris Richard gets job. Byron Jones gets moved from starting safety to what? Corner.
Right.
Jordan Lewis is what happened. Is now what? Demoted to the only position he could have went to, what? Slot. He didn't get that position. Anthony Brown was already there. Now, I know that Chris watched film on every DB that we had, right? If he watched film on every DB coming into our offseason, then he will see that Anthony Brown did not play good his rookie season. And he will see that Jordan Lewis was your starting corner the last 7 games of the season. And balled. So he went from the starting corner to not playing at all. He actually, in some games, actually played more on offense. And that's crazy, bruh. Yeah, and while Anthony Brown still was able to make mistakes and grow and be a better. Now, Anthony Brown is good now. He's a better corner. But we're not talking about right now today. We're talking about last year. Like that.
Improved, but he's still not Lewis.
Yeah.
He improved, but Jordan Lewis is still better. The person who clearly won the crowd was Jordan Lewis, and he did it based on play. And see, some people will say, you know what, West Coast, Boss Cowboy, y'all being conspiracy theories. There's no favoritism. These guys are coaching for their jobs. They wouldn't put their jobs at risk to be trying to play a guy that they favor. It happens. It happens on all levels of sports. And if it happens with the Dallas Cowboys, you have to factor it in. I'm writing an article right now, and I have it where James Slater said, and I'm going to give you just one part of this article. I'm going to be finished with it in just a second. I really just need to push the button to send it out. Where James Slater reported from the players that this is what they felt about Scott Linehan. I quote, "If you weren't a Scott Linehan guy, you weren't playing." These were people in our locker room saying that. Not West Coast, not Boss Cowboy. This is what front office discovered the feeling of the locker room was when they interviewed the players and they was trying to decide what to do with Scott Linehan. So when you hear us say stuff like it can be favoritism, because this is what happens to me in all walks of life. A lot of times we'll make a judgment, and what we'll do is we'll try to push that judgment to make ourselves look like we made the right judgment initially. It happens in everything we do, and I think it happens on the highest level. And so what we end up doing sometimes is we start putting our finger on the scale to try to make ourselves look like we was correct on an initial judgment. And that's how you get some people, even within Dallas, that they'll get 9 lives to mess up over and over and over again, and they're allowed to slowly develop, and then you have certain people that are on short leases because I bet on this guy and I bet against this guy. That's why the Dallas Cowboys fan base is really divided right now on quarterback, because you have those that have bet on Dak and you have those that have bet on Romo, and we split right down the middle because some of us can't let either side go.
Yep.
And we comparing something we cannot compare. So what's happening on the highest levels is actually even happening on the lower levels of where we are, where we just having a petty discussion between two hypotheticals, this quarterback versus this quarterback. It also happens on the field when you choose a player, and I say I think Anthony Brown is going to outperform Jordan Lewis. So what some people find themselves doing is giving Anthony Brown more and more and more reps and giving Jordan Lewis less and less and less because they're trying to make themselves look like I made the right call from the beginning. That's what it is.
Now, hey, that's a great point, man. Yo, now, you know, West Coast, man, when I see a player, man, you know, I try to build relationships with folks, you know, with these players so that when I see them, man, I can levy those relationships to ask questions of importance. Now, when I went into camp, I was at camp. Y'all already know, don't nobody cover training camp like West Coast, man. It was training camp like 30, it was like 26 days, bro. I was there like 21. It was ridiculous, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like half y'all met me at training camp on a training camp video. You know what I'm saying? Nobody covers training camp like West Coast, right? So I'm up here, right? I see Jordan Lewis coming down, and I'm like, yo, like, you know, I'm not asking for no autograph. I want to ask you a question because I'm at training camp and I'm seeing Jordan Lewis not play, and I'm like, man, what the heck is going on? Like, how are you the best? How are you one of the best corners out here and not really getting any reps? And this was at training camp. So nobody hadn't even seen, you know, only thing Chris Richard could have went off of, honestly, is film from last year. You know what I'm saying? And so in my opinion, I think the moving of Jordan Lewis, the kind of, you know, I don't know. I would hate to say it was a decision up on high, but there's no way that Chris Richard can look at film and then be like, okay, Jordan Lewis has less potential than freaking Anthony Brown. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and play this real quick for y'all. Here and play this real quick.
What is your take on this rotation, man, this deep? Mr. Lewis, West Coast from Dallas Cowboys Scouting. How you doing today, man? Man, what is your take on this rotation, man, this DB Nation, man? How you feeling about it, man?
I mean, we'll see. It's beginning of training camp, so.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty early right now. So.
Because, I mean, when it's all said and done, no matter what the rotation is, I definitely feel that you're going to be one of the top 1 through 3. on this squad. On this squad, so I'm looking at the rotation. I'm like, sometimes the rotation don't really look like that sometimes. So I'm like,
I mean, all I can do is work.
I heard that.
I mean, it's not up to me about the rotation.
Okay.
Besides my performance on the field, so that's the only thing I can,
Okay.
actually.
So man, I just wanted to show that real quick.
Excellent question too.
So yeah, man, because I'm out there, I'm out there every day for training camp damn near, you know what I'm saying? And I'm counting the reps, and I'm looking at who's playing, and I'm looking at who's not playing, and I'm like, yo, man, how is it that Jordan Lewis, and I'm thinking like, man, Jordan, this is going to be the step up for him this year, like this about to be that year. And I'm out here looking at the reps, and Jordan Lewis is damn near on the sidelines more than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And it's,
you just had to ask him.
yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, like, what the heck is going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you notice this? You know what I'm saying? And I love this answer, man. Like, what was your thoughts on this answer, man?
Man, it's sad, bro, because, see, it's the wrong message being sent. And it's not just the message being sent to him. It's the message being sent to the whole team. So when you do stuff like this and you have a guy that ball out and everybody universally pretty much says that he was your best, not just corner, he was your best secondary player in 2017, and then you looking at him looking like he's sitting on his helmet begging for reps, it says that actually your play is not what rewards you here. You have to be in with the right people to believe in you. It's just too much politics. And at some point, love should make us call our own organization out on it and be like, we don't hate you, we love you, so we telling you we see a booger in your nose. So you need a mint. And you need to chew it fast, because our breath stink in that area. It's too much coming out, and that consistently comes out from our players about a belief that there are favorites. And if you are, so what that environment creates, from my perspective, is an organization that makes people hesitant to say what they believe. It's almost just like we talked about maybe 2 weeks ago when Dak was actually trying to was having a dispute with Cooper on the field.
Yep.
Cooper. If you listen to Cooper very closely, I listened to Cooper exit interview after the Redskins game and the Philly game. He was leaking all kind of hints on his dislike for Scott Linehan, but he had to do it politically correct because he was afraid of retaliation.
Yep.
Go listen to both those exit interviews. He kept saying we was running sleds and stops all day. So I had to get creative on my fade. They wasn't buying it because we was doing it all day. Now he's saying this as a guy that's very diplomatic.
He overworking too. What he's really saying is I'm overworking.
I'm overworking. They sitting on my stuff and you ain't doing nothing about it. And so then it's in the fourth quarter. We driving to win. You thinking from watching it from a fan perspective, West Coast, that everything going right. No, it was going wrong.
Yeah.
So where Cooper said himself, bro, we not gonna run with no stop routes again. And Dak in the huddle says what, West Coast?
Just run the stinking route.
Yeah. In other words, do what they say, man. And then Dak came to himself, and Cooper said he signaled him, and he was like, thank God. Bro, just really think about what's going on between that. You have Dak who over here concerned about politics versus what's the best play.
Yep.
And he had to basically say, you know what? Cooper right. West Coast, what if Cooper didn't have the boldness or the grit to push back against silly play calling?
Then what would have happened is Rasul Douglas would have bid on that route since we were in a formation that had, because Amari Cooper was the only wide receiver to the left, and Zeke got blew up on the play trying to get that blitz because they sent the linebacker blitz right up the middle. You know what I'm saying? So Zeke got killed. Zeke got killed coming, like literally, like Zeke had to, it was a 50-50 shot and he made the right shot. And Zeke, bow, he caught it. And he took the block. And then, bro, like keep it real, what really would have happened is Rasul Douglas would have intercepted the ball and he would have took it the other way.
Probably so.
And the only person that would have been able to run him down is Dak Prescott or whatever corner was the other side. If the corner would have been running a shallower route, maybe he could have got there. But, bro, that's going bro, I mean, the wide receiver, I don't think who's the other wide receiver making Michael Gallup ain't got that type of speed, bro.
And
If Tavon maybe could have caught him.
Who would have got blamed on that?
Amari Cooper would have got blamed on it.
No, I'm talking about if he intercepted and took it back.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, it would have been both. I mean, it would have been on Dak. To be honest with you, it would have been on Dak. I mean, and that's what. Yeah.
Rightfully so.
That's true. That's 100. That's 100.
And rightfully so, because your teammate told you, bro. We need to.
But we would think about this. If he would have threw that interception, we would have never known that, though. We would have never known that.
We would have never known the truth. We would have been still talking about, remember when Dak threw that interception and he took it all the way back? What kind of throw was that? But now we were talking about a game-winning throw just because Cooper spoke up. So basically, it's an environment to where all of our weapons especially knew they was at risk of losing their jobs just for saying what's best for the team.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at like definitely that would have been an interception, and Douglas would have definitely took it the other way, and it would if as long as he would have stayed on the sidelines, he would have probably made it too, because the only person that could have gotten him, because a Cooper would have had to stop and pivot. You know what I'm saying? And I saw Cooper get caught by goddamn Charles Tapper, so I don't know if he gonna catch him. I love me some Cooper though, but you know what I'm saying?
Because we really kind of pivoted to talking about Cooper and Dak and all of that stuff, because we was really just painting the tea leaves that we do have a booger in our team. It's a booger in the nose. And I'm writing about it. It's gonna have a lot to do with that. It's super clear because I got all the tweets, I got all the complaints. It's a clear picture of really what goes on to be in the locker room of the Dallas Cowboys. So, because we saw them go 10-6 and everybody jump up when Dak made that throw to Cole Beasley to beat the Giants, and you think everybody's happy, and they was managing and winning really despite chaos.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we need to settle some of this crap down, because if we can settle some of this crap down, then we can get to, beating people. Because, I mean, like, folks didn't just, like, forget how to catch the football and forget how to block. Like, we had a, 6, and then also you got to think like this. Something that never gets talked about is, guess what? The NFL adapts, man. I remember when the read option was pretty successful. Then I remember when the read option was not successful. It ain't been really successful since then. Why? Because them defensive coordinators said, yeah, you ain't going to make a fool out of us. You ain't going to be having us out here looking crazy. And what them defensive coordinators did, they came back and they found out ways to adapt. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, man, let's go ahead. Shoot it.
I don't want to sound like we being Debbie Downers, because front office did make some good changes. So, and one of the things that I really think, and I also addressed this in the article, that they learned was the power of actually listening to your players. And that's why you're hearing a lot of them say stuff like, man, Kellen Moore listens to us.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you're in a bad relationship and you get a new relationship, the first thing that's going to stand out in your new relationship is when that new person is doing what that old person refused to do.
Now, I didn't say that. Boss Cowboy said that. I'm happily married. But, yeah, man, I don't know. Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But, I mean, that's what it be. But you also got to set them proper expectations, man. But, hey, man, real quick, shout out to some folks over on YouTube, because, man, y'all going in over here on YouTube. I got Gary Johnson. I got Philly's Cowboy over there. Appreciate you, Philly Cowboys. He said the season is going to be better than last. Philly Cowboy says we just have to get past game one and out of the coaching staff, man. You absolutely right, man. And shoot, man. Speaking of this coaching staff and possible things that have changed, man. I know that you guys probably heard the information as far as the NFL is going to be investigating Ezekiel Elliott. So we're going to talk about that right after this commercial. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is only a few months from kicking off, but this year, let's do things a little different. Instead of just watching games at home or just going to a game, let's actually experience our Dallas Cowboys, just like West Coast does. Cowboys Experience is my one-stop shop for all my Cowboys game day weekends. Their packages are all inclusive, including 2 nights hotel accommodation. We'll pick you up and drop you off at the airport and game. Want to hang out and get autographs from current and former Cowboy greats like Drew Pearson? If you're ready to experience the Dallas Cowboys like no other, make sure you inbox West Coast or go to cowboysexperience.com today. The 2019 Dallas Cowboys season is... What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast. So we back up in the building, man. I got my boy Boss Cowboy up in the building, man. Say hi.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, there we go. So, hey, man, we was reading on our little break, man. I'm up here drinking some water. And Charles, man, you had an excellent comment. He says to stop the read option on Facebook. He says to stop the read option. You stop the read option by hitting the quarterback. And that's a great point. But to add to that point, on every play, you hit a read option quarterback in them legs on every play. By the third quarter, he ain't going to be a read option quarterback no more.
It's not surprising to hear that from Charles because he one of scouts that's on the show. He visits the show, and he really just breaking down the scheme of how to stop it. Because what he's saying is, if you keep hitting the quarterback on the read option, you're gonna make them not want to do it anymore. And that's exactly what Seattle did. So remember when we played Seattle the first time when Zeke came back? Boy, they was tagging back.
Yeah, they was. Yeah, they
Boy,
was.
they was tagging back. And then just what he said, because we was, Scott Linehan was getting real predictable. Every time it was third and shorter, he was in a red zone. His go-to was the read option, and they would just bang back. I mean, Earl was tattooing them. So yeah, that's good scheme in mind by Charles.
Yeah, I always hate when I see Dak going like this. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing as much. All right, hey, real quick before we go into our next shout out. Diane Pfeiffer says, gaining some knowledge for a female Cowboy lover, but gotta run do my live. So I'm assuming she doing some live show. She says, hope to catch y'all again. I said, hey, inbox me, let's do a show. You know what I'm talking about? Brandon says, hit both QB and fullback. Shoot, if you on that read option, it's probably ain't gonna be no fullback, and it's just gonna be a goddamn running back. But hey, man, I'm doing some film breakdown right now on some private stuff. I know we're supposed to be talking about Zeke getting I'm not gonna say possibly getting suspended, but I'm just talking about this on some ramble stuff. Man, I was watching some film, right? And I'm watching some film on Herschel Walker for a project I'm working on right now. And bro, do you know what they did a lot of time to get Herschel loose? You know what they would do? They would put Herschel Walker and Tony Dorsett on the field at the exact same time, bro. And, like, defenses, obviously this is the early 80s, but no, it's the late 80s, like 86. But, bro, defenses did not know what to do, man. Like, TD would fly out this way, and they would literally just, as soon as he fly out this way and turn that corner, they'd hike the ball, boop, and Herschel just, bing. Half the defense is looking this way, the other half, most, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy, man. And I'm just thinking, man, like, I'm about damn near about to tell you. I'm gonna tell y'all.
Man, I like that vision, man. I already kind of see where you going with that.
Yeah, man, because, hey, I'm doing this. I don't want to tell y'all, but I'm going to tell it. I'm doing my 5 favorite running backs, man. And right now, I'm almost done. It's going to drop tomorrow. Yeah, it's almost done. And then remember, I'm going to tell y'all, when y'all watch my video, I can't tell y'all the greatest running backs if I ain't never seen them before. You know what I'm saying? So I got to be able to see them, So so that's why I said, like, these are running backs that I actually seen, play in my era. You know what I'm saying? So, man, but man, Herschel, man, bruh. And even with Herschel and another dude who's also one of my favorite running backs of my lifetime was also freaking Marion Barber. Bro, something that they did with these running backs, and I would love for them to do with Zeke, man, is they would let them share the loads. Like for whatever reason, we were in love for Julius Jones. Like we just had our Julius Jones love affair. And we would not give the starting job to Marion Barber. And he came in and he was effective every third down. Like every third down, Marion Barber was coming in and getting that third down.
Rhythm.
Huh?
He was instant rhythm.
Instant rhythm. And the thing I like about him, when we say instant rhythm, means he don't need 4 plays to get ready. 1 play and he gone.
He did. He never did.
So it's like, like the more, like as much as I want Pollard to be this gadget, I really do want him to be what they said they were getting a guy to be. You know what I'm saying? And that is like a Zeke-like guy. And I'm not, as much as I love to hear about Mike Weber, and I definitely feel he's going to have an opportunity in Dallas, I just think that Zeke gets so many carries, unless we're changing our philosophy, I don't see how they're going to have Pollard, Zeke, and Weber. You know what I'm saying? I think Weber is going to be a stowaway guy just in case, Zeke gets injured, or possibly with the investigation that the NFL said that they will be beginning, possibly getting suspended. And, so, man, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, when you talk about Herschel Walker and Tony Dorsett, it's almost how do you not have those two guys on the field, right? Because you're not only talking about elite backs and all-time backs, you're also talking about all-time speed. And it's just funny you brought that up because that does remind me of Pollard and Zeke. Even though Zeke is not all-time speed, he's very, very, very good speed. You'll take a 4.45 any day.
At 225 pounds, bruh, that's at under 200 pounds, that's 4.3. At under 200 pounds, it's 4.3 speed.
Yeah, that's and
that's moving, bruh.
And we see the speed, especially around mid-season when Zeke turns the corner. Oh, it's something to see, So, obviously researching kind of from our article, I did come across a couple of things that concern me. And it really shows me that we're really going to have to lean on Kellen Moore a lot for creativity. Because I read something as I was actually preparing the article I'm going to read it. So Ryan Switzer was elaborating on when he exited the Dallas Cowboys, and he said this: the more I think on it, I think that they had a different plan for me than what I was capable of doing. I don't know. Looking back, I had 2 or 3 rushes in the NFL before receptions, and I was taking reps at running back at times. I don't know if we were trying to use me as like a scat back or what. There was a lot of talk about my high school days and being a running back, and I don't think I ever fit that mold as a change of pace back or someone with slide sweeps and carries. I don't know if that's the plan that they had for me because it was never spoken. When I try to piece these things together, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think they had a little bit to do with it because I can't really think of anything else. Now, the reason why I bring that up, because I'm thinking of now Jason Garrett, right? And it's almost like he's trying to find the next Dunbar. It's like, because, Dunbar worked for him. Nobody can say Dunbar did not work. Dunbar was good on third downs, especially if you put him in a slot where you had to have a base defense, where it was basically a very, very, very nimble running back with basically, you could even say routes, good hips, and it made a stiff have to defend it. So it was almost like Switzer was saying that's how they envisioned me, but I'm not sure. So it's like, and that's the reason why I said they're going to have to lean on who? Kellen Moore for creativity, because if this is kind of like a Jason Garrett pick, I'm not going to expect a whole lot out of it.
Yep, because he did the same thing with Ryan Switzer.
Because he did the same thing with Ryan Switzer, and it was the same reports to where they drafted this guy, and to me, they never used Switzer correctly on offense, ever.
And then you end up getting rid of him, and then you didn't even keep the guy. You trade Switzer away, and then you cut the guy that you traded Switzer for. And he goes off and has 4 sacks.
Yeah, he goes off and has 4 sacks.
And neither one of those guys are on your team.
in 6 games.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, we would have cried to have that type of production on our team right now that we just let go. But the point is, I want to be optimistic for Pollard, but I still have to also be waiting to see for Kellen Moore. Because if we drafted Pollard similar to how we drafted Switzer, we got a gadget guy, a pocket knife guy that won't be used right.
Yeah, I don't want. That's why I actually said that I don't want to call Pollard a gadget guy, because that means you got to be uber intelligent to know how to use a gadget. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't hear about dumb people even playing around with gadgets. They play with more blunt toys like balls. You know what I'm saying? Big blocks and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You a gadget person, that means you a thinker. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have a player that requires the fact that he has to think. Now, if Kellen Moore ends up to be this mad scientist, then that's what's up, man. Get him some tools and let him make Frankenstein. You know what I'm saying? But bro, until, like I said, you won't prove it to you. I gotta see it, bro. And obviously, Kellen Moore, it ain't your fault. But it is your fault. Why? Because you knew. That's just what it is, bruh. So you got to understand that. So because it almost feels like, if Kellen Moore was the offensive coordinator, that probably means that Swisher probably would have been on the team because Pollard and Switzer are the same dude. I just think Pollard's probably faster. But Switzer was a running back, and he was a high school all-state running back. You know what I'm saying?
Pollard definitely fits way better.
Yeah, he does fit way better. But I'm saying the mindset of what you're trying to do with them. I think Pollard's a better player too. Don't even get me wrong. But
he's a better player.
Yeah,
he's a way better version of Swiss.
Yes, exactly. But either way, it's like if I give you a slow race car, or if I give you a slow manual or a fast manual, if you don't know how to drive stick, it don't matter. You ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, my hope is that the Dallas Cowboys, when you bring a guy, Pollard, in here, is like, one, we'll know, man. Like, we'll know right off the muscle because is he going to be active? Will he make the 47 roster? Like, that'll let you know right there because there was games where Sister wasn't even active. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's weird to me, bro. That's just, in 2019, 4th-round picks, bro, and you're not trying to pay. I know they say, 4th-round picks are not supposed to play. Yes, they are. You want to know why? Because the NFL is trying to be cheaper. They're not trying to pay expensive guys. So that's why you see teams like the Dallas Cowboys who have, I think we got 1 first-round draft. We have 2. We got LVE, and who else we got on our first round on our team? And Byron Jones. You know what I'm saying? So, you have the NFL is about being cheaper now.
Absolutely. And then another thing I wanted to say is one thing that I hope, and Charles, you on the thread, help me out.
We're going to get Charles on here tomorrow, man. Charles, get it popping, man. I'm letting you know right now.
We talking offensive scheme, and this is what my boys like awesome. Okay.
Just get ready. You getting on tomorrow, Charles.
He's really good on offense. My boy Charles is basically OC type of mind. But basically, looking at Pollard with Kellen Moore, my hope is I think you have OCs that are creative. Then you have OCs that are really, really good at a scheme in which they come from and that can manage within their scheme, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that Kellen is creative because what I'm hearing coming from, Dak and everybody else that's talking about Kellen, it sounds like what we all been saying we want to see, right? Where he said, Dak said this, I'm going to try to quote verbatim, we're going to pretty much do the same things, but we're going to do it out of basically different packaging.
And the whole world said, duh.
And that's still a major upgrade for Scott Linehan because if you look at one of Dez Bryant's tweets, he said we lined up in the same formations for 17 weeks straight and ran the same things. So even Kellen doing that is a major upgrade from what we had with Scott Linehan. But yet, that sounds exactly like Boise State. I challenge anybody to YouTube when you get off the show, just YouTube Kellen Moore and Gruden, and you're going to see them going back and forth in the QB camp. In the first 10 minutes, they actually talk about that. And you're going to see that Gruden is actually surprised and weirded out by Boise State. And he say, man, how y'all running this complicated offense? And he talked about y'all in the pistol, how you setting up in a read option. You doing all these different formations and you running this crazy offense. And Kellen said the exact same thing that Dak just said. He said, well, really, we do the same things. We just do it from different looks. So that makes me say, is he going to be creative, or is he just going to be basically the type of person that just catch you off guard because he's doing the same thing different way? Because right now, hopefully he's creative. Because with a guy like Pollard, that's what you need. You need somebody that's creative, that can get an athlete in space. We all know Andy Reid is creative. That's why he'll function so well in Kansas City. But I guarantee you, he wouldn't be as explosive if he was on another team.
Yeah, and I mean that's the exact same point that I was saying. You know, Kellen Moore, man, it's gonna be all on his shoulders because this offense, I mean, for the most part, 22 of our starters are all coming back. You know what I'm saying? Cole Beasley is not considered a starter because he's a slot. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking at your 11 starters on offense, for the most part of the guys who were all playing last year are all coming back in some form. You know what I'm saying? Joe Looney, you don't know what form he's going to come back in because you don't know if he's going to be starting or backup. You know what I'm saying? Being your backup. You know what I'm saying? But they're all coming back. So it's like you have to really have that approach because outside of, you know, the Tony Pollard kid, that's the only person you really brought into your offense too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Weber, you drafted him so late in the round. I mean, you can't. The expectations for him is more or less, I would think, for next year. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so, you know, that's what I would think would have to be their main objective. But, I mean, just to kind of piggyback off that is I think part of the reason why Boise State ran so many formations is what they realized is like, yo, when you don't have superior athletes, you have to have a complex offense. Why? Because you have to find mismatches.
Yeah.
What up with you, Lee? I see you on YouTube. Yeah, so so like that's why like if you look at teams that aren't good, like teams that aren't good, they that are not good. I apologize, but teams that are good, but that don't have like superior athletes like a Alabama or you know what I'm saying or Georgia, like they run these complex offenses. You know what I'm saying? Like Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Oregon, they hang their heads on two things: speed and their scheme. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about getting the wide receiver, getting in space. But what happens when they play big teams like Alabama in that front four? They crumble. So it's like it's good to have kind of like a mixture of both of them. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, especially since the Dallas Cowboys, we have the athletes. Since we have the athletes, I mean, all I'm looking for Kellen Moore to do is really to find ways to get them mismatched, man. And honestly, I want to see these mismatched even before pre-read. Basically meaning pre-read means before, you know, when Dak is talking to Kellen Moore on the sidelines and he's walking onto the field, then not Dak walking up to the field and having even required to read the defense. Obviously, he's going to do that, naturally. But I'm saying if we put the work into the film room, we should already know stuff that we're going to attack. And I'm going to be honest with you, Boss Cowboy. 2018, and honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. The only time I ever felt like we actually attacked like certain players and certain things in the defense is when we had Tony Romo. And that's because Tony Romo understood that. In 2016, bro, we just outscored you. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
that's just honest.
Yeah, I mean, that like Tony Romo would literally go after you.
Just to your point, that's why Terrence Williams actually did so good under Romo.
Absolutely. Because Tony Romo because we got to think like this. You have Dez Bryant, you have Jason Witten semi in his prime, and then you have Terrence Williams. He'll motion Terrence Williams, get Terrence Williams on that third corner and light you up.
Yep.
And he would just trust that his guy, his third receiver, is better than your third corner. And that's why guys like Jesse Holley, that's how we even know about guys like Jesse Holley. Because Tony Romo found the matchup, he found the gap in the discount. I'm not the gap in the discount, the gap in the defense, and he put the ball there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I want to see. And now, my thing is this. Tony Romo, doesn't have the durability of Dak. So, I mean, if you put that, and then also another thing that Tony Romo doesn't have that Dak does have is it didn't take Dak 12 to 13 years to get there. You know what I'm saying? So that's also an advantage. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have all that compacted right now in this young man, bro. You got to make, if Kellen Moore can help him get to that point where they're already like, yo, I know 32 is not as good as such and such. Let me get him over here on 32, and we're going to work 32 until you realize we're working 32. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Rams do. If you go look at the Rams, that's why Jerry Jones said, well, we really resemble the Rams. Everybody was like, how in the hell do we resemble the Rams? These dudes scoring 40 points a game. But what you really see, if you go look at the Rams highlights, it's all wide open play. If they're wide open. Like if you go see 9 out of the receivers, 9 of the plays they're wide open. They're just wide open in the middle field. And we all saw Jared go up close, so we know he's not no Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
And Dak is the better quarterback. By far.
Absolutely.
By far.
Yeah. We can say up to now, right, on a 3-year grade, Dak is the better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, you can say in that, you can say in that game and in that when it matters. Like, bro, he had 3 consecutive horrible games in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's a lot being thrown at Kelly. A whole lot. Now, Charles and I actually talked about this about 3 months ago. There's a major misconception when it comes down to figuring out offenses, okay? Like some people will say, well, Mahomes, let's see what happened because they got a year of film on him. And same thing they said about Dak. Dak, they caught up to Dak in year 2 because they finally had a year of film on him.
That's true. I mean, that might be true, but he got an offensive coordinator that's supposed to be changing
it. It'll take a year to figure out systems.
Yeah.
That's why you usually see, and the way we really study opponents is in 3-game increments. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got about 3 games to surprise somebody. By the game 4, they gonna be knowing your patterns.
Yeah.
And then by game 7, they gonna be really good at knowing your patterns. By game 17, if you still doing the same stuff, they totally got you. They totally got you. And you'll think about it. Why was 2 of the best offenses in the NFL, New England and the Rams, came down to a boring Super Bowl where it was like a chess match? Because, it worked early. Same thing with Kansas City. Kansas City, because they always switch it up, they gonna bust you down in the first 8 games. By the last 8 games, Kansas City always struggled.
Yeah, that's crazy because I called both people that was going to the Super Bowl. I knew New England was gonna beat them, man. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like the thing about it is, it's like it's not gonna be Pat Mahomes versus Tom Brady. It's gonna be Pat Mahomes versus Belichick, and he's gonna lose, bro. He's gonna lose, bro. Like Belichick is just gonna outsmart you and your young quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just what it is, man. And one thing I know about
the 3-game segments is because that's why you hear people say mid-season form, mid-season changes. That's why we got a new offensive line coach mid-season, because you have to start changing. You cannot do the same thing from week 1 to week 17. You go get killed.
Yeah, and even remember Tony Romo said it. He said Tony Romo said, I believe they'll be good up to week 7. Then when week 7 comes, there'll be enough film on people for people to adapt. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's it's kind of crazy because I'm up here thinking, man, this is an abrupt subject change, man, because I just had a thought that I got to put out there, man. And if the Dallas Cowboys are trying to be more New England Patriot-ish, because that's what I believe they are trying to do, I could see Chris Richard being your head coach, man. You want to know why? Because this is one thing we got to understand, right? Jason Garrett's probably gone regardless. The reason why I say that is because of this. If we win a Super Bowl, the first thing that come out your mouth is not going to be Jason Garrett did it. It's going to be like, oh, my God, look what Kellen Moore did. And I think we already know that Jason Garrett is probably in the worst position. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, he's a better man than me because I wouldn't have came back. Like, I would have told you, give me my contract or I'm out. Because either way, I'm screwed. I'm going to play hard for a contract, right? I'm going to play hard for a contract, pretend like win a Super Bowl. Jason Garrett wins a Super Bowl, right? But guess what? Nobody, probably even Jerry Jones, is going to give him credit for winning that Super Bowl. They're going to give themselves the credit for the decisions they made to put in place to win that Super Bowl. So it's like you're in a win-lose position anyway. You know what I'm saying? And then you have a young offensive coordinator who if you give him the credit, why not leave? You have every right in the world to keep Kellen Moore where he's at, because we doubt him being ready to be an offensive coordinator, so he has no chance of being a head coach right now. So it'd be win, lose, or draw, bro. Jason Garrett's gone. what you see what's going on in New England, bro, they didn't change their offensive coordinator 3 times. With the same quarterback, too. One thing that consistently doesn't change is what? That coach, that culture, which Chris Richard brings, because he is definitely a culture guy. You know what I'm saying? And that stays around, man. I mean, what are your kind of your thoughts on that before we get up out of here, man?
I just want to make sure I understand. You saying even if he wins the Super Bowl, you think they can fire him?
I think even if he wins a Super Bowl, it's not about firing him. His contract is not. It's not about firing. It's just like what we did with Rod Smith. Yeah, we just don't renew you. Like, we didn't cut Rod Smith. We just didn't re-sign him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, think about this. If the Dallas Cowboys do not physically pick up a phone and call Jason Garrett and say, Jason Garrett, come down to the office. We're going to re-sign this contract. After we win the Super Bowl this year, he can go do whatever the hell he want to do with his life. The exact same thing we did with Rolando Clay. The exact same thing we did with Greg Hardy. People be like, oh, we released Greg Hardy. No, we didn't. Oh, we cut Greg Hardy. No, we didn't. We just didn't call him after the season. He turned his gear in. We said, yeah, we're going to call you on Monday. And we never called. We just never called him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so this is my opinion on that. I think that Jason Garrett stays. The reason is, when you write these articles, man, you looking at a lot of, as you know, because you write too, but you looking at a lot of stuff that's fresh in your mind. So I literally just, from writing this article yesterday, looked at all kind of evidence that the front office and Jason Garrett ignored a whole year of complaining from their best weapons.
Mm-hmm.
All for Scott Linehan. They ignored Dez. They ignored Bryce Butler. They ignored Ryan Switzer. They ignored
Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley said it, but nobody wants to remember Cole Beasley talking all that crap when he was still a Dallas Cowboy last year and Dez Bryant was on the team. And then he said, you know what, I better keep my mouth closed for they release me. Nobody remembers that, but it's whatever. But Cole Beasley said it too.
Hearn spoke out. Cooper spoke out. And to the very, very end, Jason Garrett said this: we don't think there's going to be any major changes with our coaching staff. With that rage and fire of complaints from all of your key weapons. And Jerry and Steven said, with that type of judgment, you get another chance. So, with that fresh in my mind, it's just fresh in my mind, West Coast. I don't mean to piss in your
yogurt. My yogurt.
But that's fresh in my mind, because I just looked at it. I just looked at all the tweets, man, and it's all together in my mind, and it just makes me not believe with a Super Bowl or even close. Because, see, right now they're just saying we want to take the next step.
Yeah.
So it sounds like if he just gets to the NFC Championship, well, he took the next step. Do you want to? Because it's almost like they did us on Heat.
Yeah, but my question, but see the thing about the only difference with coaching is there is actually if you're saying like you can't win anything more than the Super Bowl. So if he wins the Super Bowl in 2020, because that'd be the year they give us the ring. What does he do the next year? Does he got to win the Super Bowl by 50? Then in the next year he got to win it with one leg, and then the next year after that he got to win it while standing on the leg and doing this? Like, bro, if
he win a Super Bowl, they will give him a 5-year contract and saying.
But you also know this: Jason Garrett is also already one of the top 10 highest paid coaches in the NFL. So at $6.5 million, bro, there's no way they're gonna make Jason Garrett a top 5 head. And honestly, I think they could. Let me say something real quick. The reason why I also don't believe it too is because I think it's very clear that Stephen Jones is taking over as captain and running this ship. And I think Jason Garrett is more of Jerry Jones's guy. That's under Jerry Jones's division. So I think that, and I'm not saying that that Stephen Jones appears to seem like that he's cutting ties with everything that has to do with his dad's legacy. Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, DeMarco Murray. I mean, everybody. Anybody that's connected to Jerry Jones's legacy is pretty much gone out the door. Except they did let Jason Witten come back, though. You know what I'm saying? But this is my thing, right? And I think that's also why it was so easy for Stephen Jones to look at Tony Romo and be like, nope, I want to see Dak Prescott. Because Stephen Jones is thinking about his next 40 years with the Dallas Cowboys. And to be honest with you, I don't think he wants to do business like that. Because if you think about it, bro, unless Stephen Jones is just going to be totally a different businessman when he do business with Jason Garrett, I don't think he's going to, bruh. I just don't think a Super Bowl is going to be enough. Like, bro, think about this. And not even this. This just popped in my head. If he wins that Super Bowl when they're cheap, if he wins that Super Bowl when Dak's on that rookie contract, I think that changes the whole world. But now you win a Super Bowl with a $30 million quarterback, a $20 million running back, a offensive line taking up 30% of your cap. Bro, you're supposed to win the Super Bowl. What are we paying these guys for? Like, we're about to have one of the most expensive offensives in the NFL. Which we can't afford. But I'm just saying, we're going to be one of the top 5 most expensive offenses in the NFL. What are you paying for? Like, I'm paying them athletes to get that. So that's why I'm saying, like, bruh, like, Jason Garrett we win a Super Bowl this year, bro. Like, honestly, I'm not really giving him any credit. I mean, I'm going to give him some credit, but, bro, we was close last year. Like, bro, he went from, my question is this, which is harder, to go into a season with right now, with everybody healthy primarily, with your quarterback and everything ready to popping, and having the thought of winning the Super Bowl, right? Or which one do you think is harder? To be down 3-5, to fire a coach, convince a guy to trade, get this guy to trade, to come back, win the division, go to win a playoff game, and go to the playoffs. I think that route is way harder. Bro, he earned his extension last year, and they didn't give it to him. When the team didn't give up on him on 3-5, bro, what more else did you want to see? And think about this, Boss Cowboy. If you fire Scott Linehan, that means you're saying that he wasn't the reason that you lost in LA anyway. So why should that stop? And I'm just saying, if I'm Jason Garrett, I'm saying, wait, why should that stop me from getting extended? We all know who sucked. It was him, and we fired him. I managed this team when we was 3-5, and they never gave up on me. And look where we are. We lost in the divisional round to the team with the second best league and second best record in the NFL. Like, I mean, come on, guy. Jason Garrett earned his extension last year. We don't want to say it, but he earned his extension last year, and they didn't give it to him. That's why, honestly, I don't believe he's gonna get it, bro. I don't believe he's gonna get it. And if it comes down to losing Chris Richard over Jason Garrett, boy, you had better not give it to him. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll keep Chris Richard. Chris Richard, he helps. Having him on my team helps my cap so much because he can be my head coach and my DB coach, and I ain't got to play with one of them. Nick Saban do it. Nick Saban he has an assistant, but Nick Saban is the DB's coach. That is his style of DB football they're playing in Alabama. Right, you got this. That's a 2-for-1-er, and you're gonna be instilling his culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jason, like, you know what I mean? Like, Jason earned his extension last year, in my opinion, man. Because I don't think I mean, what do you think is harder? Going to a fresh season? I'm going to ask you, Boss Cowboy, which one's harder? Going into a fresh season, 0-0 with expectations to win a Super Bowl, or at least get further than what you did last year, or you're 3-5?
Oh, the 3-5 was much harder. That's
way harder. Don't you think he should have earned if he was going to get an extension, they would have got it last year. He would have got it this year.
We put it like this, and because we won't know until we get to January.
Jaquez says Steven definitely taking over and making his imprint, and he is even more vocal than he's been in the last year. You goddamn right, because when Tank signed his contract, Jaquez, great freaking point. Because when Tank signed his contract, Jerry Jones was on his $250 million yacht, and guess who was there right there signing that contract with him? That boy Stephen Jones. I think it's already taken effect. But go ahead. My bad for cutting you off, boss.
No, you okay? So check this out. You know, forgive me for having slight pessimism on this, because my 4th grade teacher, Miss Douglas, used to always tell me.
Miss Douglas.
I swear, I remember her name, and I remember a quote that she said it every day.
What Miss Douglas say?
Fool me once, shame on you.
Mm.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with everything you're saying. The tea leaves does not look good for Jason Garrett. But when they did not fire Jason Garrett, nor Scott Linehan after the Atlanta game,
Man, I thought at least one of them was
no
going.
better evidence of a reason to fire both of them was Atlanta from 2017.
Facts.
Because
Facts.
2016, in 2016, Free was getting destroyed in the Minnesota Vikings game. By the third series, they added a sixth lineman, which means they needed to take a weapon off the field for Dak for extra protection because Free was getting destroyed that bad.
Anthony Barr.
Yeah, and we had 6 holding calls.
That
But
means that
think
he
about it,
should have got
West
sacked
Coast.
more.
Think about it, West Coast. Free just was getting beat because he was just getting beat. He didn't get injured. He was just getting beat.
Yeah.
And the contingency plan was always there because I never saw it to add a 6th lineman in case one of our tackles are getting destroyed. That was 2016. You had a quality in the game, in the moment, contingency plan, and we won that game. The year after, you knew going into that game, not a moment, you knew that Tyron Smith was out. You knew. And Chaz Green, you knew he was risky at protecting Dak's blind side. You knew it. Dooley, the receiver coach, was just peeking into the game.
He
And
said
you
we're
know
going
what he
to find,
said?
we're going to do. He said Dooley said we're going to have to do something for Chaz by the end of the game.
He said by the next series.
Oh yeah, by the end of next series. He said we're going to have to do something about Chaz in the next series.
Now, Jason
getting
Garrett the whole time staring. Dooley was just looking and talking to his receivers at the same time.
Dooley is the old wide receiver coach.
He
If
was
y'all
the
didn't know who he
old
was.
receiver coach, and just peeking over, he said, Chaz is getting killed.
Killed. He said he's getting
We're gonna have
killed.
to do something about that by the next series. West Coast, did they do anything about
They
that?
didn't do nothing. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've never really supported firing a coach in the middle of the season because I believe when you do that, you basically dooming the season. You're basically saying that the season's over. When you cut the head off, the body dies. That's what I believe. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact.
But I believe this. I believe you should have fired Jason Garrett. You had grounds to fire him after that game because you as a business, if you're looking at your greatest asset and your greatest commodity, who was it at that time? It was Dak Prescott. And you as a person in responsibility and having responsibility of that asset, put it in jeopardy, left it in jeopardy, identified that it was in jeopardy, and never did anything to protect my asset. So as an owner, like I would have trust issues with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, like, after that game, I that's probably one of the few times where I've been like, yo, I think I would have fired. I would have easily fired.
Scott, at minimum.
I'll easily Scott. Because bro, like you could have, like, this is my quarterback. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is my quarterback. If he gets hurt, like you basically gave no care about him getting hurt. No care.
And this is the worst part, West Coast, and this is what a lot of fans don't know. Up until that point, up until that game, Dak was having a better season than Wentz. Wentz was called MVP up to that point. And Dak was having more touchdowns, more yards, a better passing percentage. Everything was better up until that game. And you let your quarterback get sacked 9 times by a second-string defensive end and did nothing. The
guy
only
who
thing
had-
he did was take out Chaz Green and put in Bale.
Yeah, he had 8 sacks for the season. He had 6
bad.
answers.
And you did nothing. And so, yes, Dak, you should have been mentally tougher. But hey, Dak, I'm not going to beat you up too bad because it was the first time you got beat up like Mike Tyson. You see what I'm saying? I got to give you as a young quarterback some room to get over the psychological damage of knowing that my play caller, my head coach, did nothing to protect me. So
Yeah,
that's
you
why
know
I'm
what's
saying,
what's crazy about that? You know what's also crazy about that too, bro? And I've never seen this happen in an organization. you basically ostracized one player, and basically by doing that, you told, like, honestly, two things should have happened in that after that game. They should have fired the offensive coordinator, and they should have released Chaz Green. The reason why I say you would have released him, not because I'm even mad at him, but I say you release him, bro, because you totally just, like, killed his confidence. Like, I knew that Chaz Green was going to have to leave Dallas. Because, bro, when you get embarrassed like that, like, it takes an immense amount of just, like, cojones. If you had that, you probably wouldn't have gave up 6 sacks. You know what I'm saying? To come back from that and to know this. Think about this. As Chaz, I wouldn't even trust the organization. I wouldn't trust my offensive line coach. You saw me continue to fail, and you didn't even care enough to pull me. Like it almost make you feel like Chaz, like they had it out against Chaz or something. Like you know what I'm saying? But I've never seen a team like single-handedly embarrass a player like that. And when you embarrass a player, reason why I put it on the team is because like this, a player, like, shoot, if you give me the opportunity right now, I'll go play for the Dallas Cowboys. Would I be a liability? I might be a liability. I don't know. I still got a little juice in the tank. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I'm a baller. All ballers always want to play. Boss Cowboy, the same thing. You're strapped up right now. We'll go do it. And I'll do it for cheaper than most of these dudes will do it. But guess what? Will I be a liability? Yes. So since they love winning and they know I love winning more than me playing, they going to say, no, West Coast, let us get one of these young dudes and they'll do it.
Hey,
they didn't even do that for Chaz Green. They didn't save himself from himself.
Hey, man, I'm sorry. I thought about something that's so funny that happened that game. I watched the All or Nothing documentary, man. And Terrence Williams was so mad, bro, when he heard about the sacks. He was in the fourth quarter, and we was obviously losing by then, right? Terrence Williams looked at Dez and Cole. He said, what? He had how many sacks? Man, that's a season.
Yeah. And he ended up having 7.5 on the season, so.
And see, that man, think about the culture, man. Like, how do you have confidence in your coach, man, with like everybody in there, like, they let that happen? That boy Terrence Williams killed me. That's about the funniest part, because you could tell he was shocked. The dude looked at Dez, he looked at Cole, he said, how many sacks? He said, that's a season.
Yeah, and they never did nothing, bro. They never did anything. So, and I'm going to be honest with you, I put that on more than just.
If you let that type of incompetence slide, and instead of firing Scott, you fired Dez, I just not going to get my hopes up. And I see your point, and I see your tea leaves. I do. Man.
But I mean, the Cowboys are selling because they know they have to sell. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they're selling us right now is because they know they have to sell. The reason why they're selling us on Tony P is because they know they have to sell us on it. Why? Because we just saw an offense give up 19 points, 20 points. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it got better with Amari Cooper, but 23 points is not enough.
Yeah. Because logic says turn this team over to Chris Richard.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I said, like, if you really trying to change the culture and you trying to do that, man, like, that's why I believe, man, I think I could actually see them giving Jason Garrett a management position. You know what I'm saying?
I would love it.
Like this is what I could see happening with Jason Garrett. I could see this is what I see happening after the Super Bowl.
Great compromise.
This is what I see happening after the Super Bowl. I see Jerry Jones basically stepping away and riding on his boat in the sunset, him and Jeannie. And then
so good so far.
I see Jason Garrett not getting re-signed as a coach, but getting moved up in management because the way they trust him, that is something they still value about Jason Garrett. And I actually think Jason Garrett would be better because think about this, when they go to the owners' meetings, guess who's the coach that they pick to do all the talking? Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett is the one who lobbied for the freaking interception rule, so it better not backfire on us. Because he was the one that the NFL actually picked. The coaches are the one, I'm pretty sure it was spearheaded by Breeze, I mean, Breeze is head coach, but they ended up picking like Jason Garrett to do the talking and present it to the owners and to the NFL. That's what the owners, the coaches did. So I could easily, and with Jason Garrett's youth in management, that could be something very valuable. So I could see Jerry Jones going off in the sunset, you know what I'm saying, and Stephen Jones going up to head honcho number 1, Will McClay going up to head honcho number 2, and Jason Garrett going up to some fake position that they just created. They do that because they did that because Will McClay was the director of player personnel in Dallas. Something crazy title. He couldn't even put it on a title on a goddamn business card. So I believe they say.
I can see that.
Devon says, why do they trust him? The reason why they trust him is because, I mean, that's just how rich people are. You know what I'm saying? Basketball, why you think they trust him so much?
I think Jason Garrett actually does a good job on working with the conflicting conflicts of being in Dallas. I think Jason Garrett is uniquely fit to do that job. It's just that he sometimes in mid-games just have a brain fart, especially critical decisions. But there's nobody in the league that can deal with Steven and Jerry like Jason Garrett. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You have to have a perfect type of political persuasion about yourself to be a Dallas Cowboy head coach. Because if you have too much fire like Big Tuna, there was nobody better, more qualified than Big Tuna.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is, all these folks yelling for Sean Payton, man. Like Sean Payton is very outspoken, man. So be careful what you. I mean, obviously.
Because look at what.
I don't think they would mesh well. That's just what I'm saying. I don't think they would mesh well.
We really almost had 2 Belichicks that didn't fit us. Think about it.
Exactly. Got coaches who went on and won Super Bowls.
Jimmy Johnson really has a case at being the GOAT coach, even over Belichick. See, let's not forget who Belichick goes on fishing trips with to still learn from to this day.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
To this day. To this day.
Now, he goes on fishing trips to learn from him. Don't forget who created the trade value sheet. That was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Don't forget who fleeced Minnesota for all those draft picks out of just his own imagination.
Yeah.
That was Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah. Hey, it's a statement I always say. It take a special man to fall in love with my ex. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like you got to be a special man to be the head coach of Dallas Cowboys because they're going to put you through some stuff. First off, they let you go out there on national TV on Monday. We expect no changes. We expect no changes in our coaching staff. We believe everybody's going to be back next year. That's everybody from what I expect. And then 15 minutes later on Twitter, that is not what we said, Jason Garrett. That's basically what they did. Like he went on national TV, said one thing, and they came out and said another.
They got personalities that have to feel involved. So if you they can't sit back. It's just like you said a long time ago
about the owners.
Yeah, where he said, I can make $2 million in a day and my fans won't care. But you can go sign a player, Jimmy, and everybody love you. Jerry and Steven want credit and they want input in the 6 or the Super Bowl. They not content being an owner that signing checks. And you got to live with that because that's who our owners are. We can't be like, well, let's get a new owner. Okay, stop.
I know.
That's who he is. And so it's like we just talking about the true pros and cons of Jason Garrett because sometimes we talk about the cons, we forget the pros. But the pros is for a fact, it takes a special skill set to deal with them. It takes a special skill set for them to actually go in there and say, we're getting ready to fire Des Bryant. Inside your heart drop.
And not even, and the thing about this, we're not even going to ask you if you agree or disagree. We're going to tell you to make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
make it work.
That's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with Steven and you're dealing with Jerry. So that's why I still believe myself, Jason Garrett outside of Dallas will be a way better coach. Way better coach with real autonomy, with real ability to make decisions without somebody having to taste the Kool-Aid and taste the tea. No. If he's just able to go somewhere and say, you know what? This is my GM. This is my draft room. That's my quarterback. I don't have to go back and forth on debate. Did you see, best coach, do you remember how he had to sell Dak?
Yeah.
He had to sell the hell out of Dak and still almost missed Dak. Even after selling, like you would never hear a better pitch than what Jason Garrett made about Dak. And it was before he was ever with the Cowboys. Ever. But what did Jason try to do? Let's go get us Paxton Lynch. Let's go give away second round. We wouldn't have had Jalen Smith. Let's go give around fourth round, and we wouldn't have had that. And then when we missed him, guess what? Let's go get Connor Cook. That was Jerry. And Jason had to sit there with a poker face like, I'm going to make that mess work.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not really like input. It's not really like input.
You just got to ride with it.
Like you're working, it's the difference of like working for a company where the owner works with you every day. Like if you guys have worked for a company where the owner works with you every day, that is like that's like the worst job at work environment. Why? Because they have their standards and then there's real life. Like I understand that you want me to turn a flip and do this for every single customer, but that's not real life. While at the same time keeping my traffic conversion done. Yeah. That's not real life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like I can, and that's why like if that job would have came available, obviously you have coaches that want to come, but at the same reason why I think part of the reason why Jason didn't get the boot last year is because a lot of candidates that they wanted to come didn't want to come. They was talking to Calvin, that boy from Oklahoma? That boy from Oklahoma said, I'll stay, and how about Oklahoma just give me $2 million more? You know what I'm saying? As soon as they heard that he was talking to the Dallas Cowboys, he said, nope, we'll give you $2 million more and go sit your butt down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So, and the thing, and I'm going to tell you guys something too. Something that's scary about these college quarterbacks is a lot of these college quarterbacks can only work, not these college quarterbacks, these college coaches that they're bringing into the NFL, a lot of these guys can only work with certain types of quarterbacks. And I'm going to tell you like what happens when the real life happens and that certain type of quarterback isn't as good or he just go down. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to really coach. I don't think that Dallas, as much as we feel, I love going to Dallas. Like I absolutely love it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that like just like free agents don't be like, oh my God, they need a corner in Dallas? Hell yeah, I'll go take less money to go to Dallas. No, bruh. This isn't the 90s. Like teams aren't like jumping to go to Dallas. Why? Because they know you're gonna have to deal with Jerry, and one, you got to deal with politics, man. So it's like for me, like I don't even want to. You know what I'm saying? Like I think if anything, they need to keep Rashard. And I actually don't mind them keeping Jason Garrett in that facility because Jason Garrett, I believe, is a guy that has a lot of pull in the NFL on that back end. I believe he has a lot of pull on it. Whenever 31 other coaches choose you to represent them, that says you have a lot of pull in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And that would be.
Parcells say, if you want me to cook, let me buy the groceries.
Exactly. And Dallas won't do that. Dallas is not going to do that.
That's why they trust Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Because they know they get credit for the improvements. With another coach like Tuna, with a Jimmy Johnson, they go get all the credit as they do deserve the credit, and they not going to like that, and then they going to get ran off.
And think about this also, because this is also.
So the way I'm going to finish with this, and I promise you I'll finish with this.
No, you're good.
This is the model that's going to win the Dallas Cowboys the Super Bowl. An aggressive head coach in critical decisions.
Yep.
Hopefully he remains that way like he was the last 8 games.
Yep.
A superior offensive coordinator that can take advantage of our picks and our weapons, and a superior defensive coordinator. It's not going to be because of the genius of the head coach, which is how most Super Bowls are won. We are almost like an octopus. We're going to have a whole bunch of legs getting it done. That's our crazy model, but that's the model that we have.
Yeah, I'll second that. One, I'm gonna say something to that, but I wanna finish a point. Something else that also you have to be a coach in Dallas is you have to support and understand Jerry Jones's heart and mind with the media. Because being in Dallas, you are going to be under more. You're going to get asked more questions than any other coach in the NFL because there's more cameras in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that you have to also be too. And I'm going to tell you, I think that's what really got Tuna out of Dallas, because Tuna just be in them goddamn press conference just saying whatever. And Jerry Jones be like, Jerry Jones be trying to get the camera over there to him. You know what I'm saying? I know a few times where after game, Tuna would not say You know what I'm saying? Like, or Tuna would say something to let you know that it was like, it wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's one thing about Tuna is, man, if it wasn't Tuna, Tuna let you know that that was me. And if it was him, he let you know that wasn't me. You know what I'm saying?
The way you raised your hand had me die. You say, what was Jerry doing? He was trying to get in there.
Yeah, Jerry trying to let me, hey, let me, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to represent everything of what the Dallas Cowboys are doing to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And to be honest, like I said, man, the best thing for the Cowboys to do, I think Jason Garrett's gone regardless, and I think he's just going to go up the ladder. I think he's just going to go. I think Jason Garrett will always be affiliated to this organization, just like, you know, he's young. So what is he going to do? If you fire him, if you don't re-sign him, what is he going to go re-coach for another team? Yeah, he might be able to do that, but I'm going to be honest with you. I actually think it would be hard. Some people, y'all thinking he'd get a job easy, but I think it would be kind of hard for Jason Garrett to get a job like that, making what he was already making. I believe it would be. Would he take a chance? Yes, but my thing is, why start over? I think the Dallas Cowboys, if they don't re-sign him, I think they're going to offer him a job in management. And I think he'll take it, and I think he'll be good in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Tony Saragusa coached, and now he's working for Dallas.com on the radio. Like, how random is that?
Fire him and just send him out.
Yeah, like.
They're going to basically move him. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, like, think about this. Brian Brodus says on air all the time, yeah, they fired me. Why? Because I wasn't good at my job. But I'm better at this. Like, he says it all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I buy that. I buy that all the way.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm like, God dang. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, because at first I was like, they going to fire him after so long? No, I agree with you now. Totally.
But it's not even like they're firing him. They're just going to move him up the ladder.
Everything you're saying making sense now that I understand that element.
All right. Well, yeah, man. Shoot, man. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. You already know what it is, Boss Cowboy. Let them know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, so definitely go to my page. I'm getting ready to release this article. Literally, I just need to push the button. I'm actually not going to push it into the morning, you know, so don't look for it tonight. Go to my page at Boss Cowboy Sports, especially on Facebook, and then my website where you're going to see all my blogs, all my articles. I'm releasing 3 this week. All of them are fire, especially this one. This one, to me, is my best. So if you like my other ones, you're going to love this one. I got plenty of proof on everything I'm saying. And it's what's going to take us into the next level. And that's under www.bosscowboy.com. .com.
Hey, man, y'all already know who I am, man. It's your boy, West Coast, man. Your local cowboy, man. Your favorite cowboy ripping and riding up and down these streets, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hey, y'all can find me on Dallas Cowboy Scouting on YouTube. You can find me on YouTube also at Dallas Cowboy Scouting. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tomorrow. I'll be back on my YouTube giveaways. I got some new shirts coming in tomorrow. Just repeat to the last, but I got some new shirts coming in, so I'll be doing some giveaways tomorrow. Also, be on the lookout also because I got my five all-time Dallas Cowboy running backs that I have seen played with my own eyes. I got that video that should be dropping tomorrow. I put a lot of time in it, so I appreciate you guys for sharing it and holding us down. Hey, also, if you want to become a scout, remember, all you got to do is hit that Shop Now button. It only costs $4.99 a month, and you're only supporting the nation as it grows. That's it, man. I got some upgrades today. I put that right back in the nation, and as you see, the screen is running a whole lot smoother. I'm going to tell you why. It's because of the scouts who support. So I appreciate you guys, and you already know what it is, man. Never look